Hello and welcome. It's the newspaper review here on Top TV. Yes, this is where we bring you the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. My name is Williams Abule, and if this is the first time you're seeing this video, well, you are on time and in the right place because we'd love you to be a part of this review with us by dropping your comments and the reactions on the comment section. And do well to also subscribe to this channel because this is where you'll be getting all the latest information from our newspapers and, of course, about things happening around you. And to go through the headlines with me today is Mr. Victor Sioku. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir. Happy weekend. How was your weekend,
My weekend was filled with activities, I must say. I did a lot of journeying around the weekend. But it was okay. It was stressful, but it came out really nicely. How was yours?
Real nice. There were too many activities for me. The football, the headies,
we still have the
headies we went.
That is so true. The headies also took place over the weekend, but this time it wasn't in Nigeria. But it was a very interesting outcome, and it felt like the artists felt, the way they accepted their award. It seemed to me as if this time there were no too much grumbling, unlike the last time where a lot of them were grumbling that the awards were not genuinely given to them, or it was being, interfered with. But this time it came down or went very smoothly. So yeah, it was a very cool weekend. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go straight to taking the headlines from the newspapers, but we'd like to do that right after this short break. You stay tuned. When we come back, we'll jump into the headlines right away.
My country people, you wey don register for your PVC. Make sure say you go collect your PVC o. The matter you no stop there o. Make you join body with other Nigerians, vote casual leaders wey go make the country better. No let world people buy you o. Remember, na our future be this. And this future, we must take am by force because your votes na be your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by THAV Media Limited.
All right, welcome back from that break, and we'll begin newspaper reading for today, the 5th day in the month of September, from Vanguard newspaper. And on Vanguard newspaper here, we'll take this headline. It says, daily fuel supply remains 68 million liters, NNPC insists. And then that story you'll find on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. We also see here, OB not on fundraising tour. Media office responding to all the allegations that he's trying to gather funds from, Nigerians in diaspora. You find details of that on page 11 anyway, so go there and read the details of that story. All right, moving on, we go to the main headline here on the Vanguard. It says, worry in APC, PDP, ADC, as party chairman battle conflicts. Fresh push to oust Adamu over APC's Muslim ticket heightens. Weakest camp in fights to finish with Ayu. Why APC presidential aspirants Pale was botched. Ralph's Nwosu's tenure as ADC chairman has elapsed. Kachuku speaking there. Presidency, Senate mulls banning same-faith ticket. You find details of all of this on page 5 and 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Also moving on here, we see 2023 Northern Senators orders upset over weakest opposition to Atiku source. Speaking there, right, so we find details of all of this on the Vanguard newspaper. So, Mr. Victor, I'll come to you. It says, worry in APC, PDP, ADC as party chairman battle conflicts. I mean, what is going on with all our political parties?
So I'm surprised they did not include the Labour Party, but let me take it easy.
Oh, that's true too. The Labour Party in Lagos State, they're having it.
So let's start with the ADC. For me, I see the ADC in umbrella of the fourth power, or the fourth force, okay? Well, they will slug it out. I think they will slug it out with the PRP, they will slug it out with the YPP, and the SDP, who becomes fourth. Personal prediction, okay? Yeah, ADC, what makes the ADC a strong party is that I see them, they are quite old. It's an old party. And personally, I have some, interest for their presidential candidate because it's somebody that I've been following. Kachuku, being Dumebi Kachuku, being the brother to the Kachukwu Minister of Petroleum. They are both from Delta State, and I'm proudly Deltan. Okay. And they are from the Igbo-speaking Delta. Man, I'm not trying to be tribalistic, okay? So just spare me that. Okay, spare me that.
Yeah.
So he's the director of Roost TV. Is an online channel just like TAF TV. And yes, he has some strong. He has released his manifesto, and he's sounding so cool in the ears. But now, to the issues. The chairman of the party has been there for 17 good years.
Wow.
And that makes you feel the Nigerian system reigns over all these parties. How can you have a chairman
for
17 good years?
That's absurd, yeah.
So what happened this time around? After Kachukwu won the primaries, keenly contested the primaries, the chairman met him and said, see, I know my tenure is rounding up. Okay, please can you give me 1 year? And Kachukwu was like, okay, let me meet stakeholders and let's discuss. But at the end of the day, they were like, if they want to remain with the constitution, the chairman needs to step aside. And that caused an uproar. Before you know it, the chairman suspended Kachukwu from becoming the presidential candidate. So right now, we do not know where the law will go for. Will it go against the chairman of the party, or will it go against the presidential candidate? Right now, there is a whole lot of issues happening with the ADC that the state chairman came together to support Kachukwu. So they are against their national 17 their reigned chairman. Okay, that aside, let's not dwell so much on that. We hit on APC. APC are having so much issues right now because yeah, we've not been discussing it so much here. But you find out that the APC, the Muslim ticket thing has been causing a whole lot of issue. So what is happening? They are saying, Tinubu, Muslim. Shetima, the VP, Muslim. Party chairman, Muslim. One person needs to go. That Nigerians will see that, see, the APC is just a Muslim party. So there are strong forces coming up to now say, see, Mr. Chairman, we know we just put in position recently, but please, for equity and fairness, please step aside. Let us have a Christian. That's one. Secondly, the Tinubu campaign organization, they called on the presidential candidates during the primary, the ones that failed. Well, yeah, most of them failed now. Just one person that came out, which is Tinubu. Yeah. So they called for, will I say, a truce, so that all the aspirants, all the presidential aspirants should gather together, let them support one candidate, meaning Tinubu. They called for the meeting. And unfortunately for them, the Speaker of the House, Lawan, did not show interest. The Vice President, Yemi Osibanjo, did not show interest. And guess who else? Amechi himself did not show interest. And that flawed the meeting. The meeting did not take place. And those guys out there are pushing for the chairman to resign because of the Muslim ticket. To the PDP, we already know that.
We already know their story.
Know that. So,
and they've been
let me not stress
on and on. And it's amazing how these political parties are, now realizing that they have issues all over the parties. I mean, we all know that these parties have had their challenges, but my concern is that all of these agitations and, marches that are coming up at this time, it's not good for these political parties. Surprisingly, even the Labour Party is not free of these internal rumbles. They too have their issues, especially in Lagos State. That has been on the news for a while. They are having their issues. But if time is against all of them, so they need to really sit back and continue to strategize, continue to work on their plans on winning elections, not these internal parties grumbles that are going on. But then you also know that if they don't resolve these issues internally, it will be very difficult for them to make progress out there. So, yeah, it is something that every party, if the APC is calling for the resignation of their party chairman, that should be expedited and done as quickly as possible. Same goes to the PDP. I've been saying it time in, time out that they need to resolve their issues. Whether they want IU to step down, let IU step down on time. Because the more he begins to grumble, the more they are losing grip of the situation on ground, and they need to resolve on time. Peter Obi has the issue of trying to gather funds from the Nigerians in diaspora, and that has been in serious discussion for a while. The law has also said that Peter Obi does not have the right or cannot gather that amount of money from Nigerians living abroad, because the law and the constitution does not permit that. So that matter has been back and forth. You want to add to it?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. For our viewers, the Lagos chapter of the Labour Party is causing so much issue. What is happening there? That they are saying that the chairman of the party in Lagos State is invalid, and he went with his delegates to the national convention that happened in Asaba, meaning that they are now, the APC are also faulting that the Labour Party in Lagos State fielded invalid candidates that voted during the national primaries, meaning that the candidate of Peter Obi is invalid because the persons that made him win the election, the national convention, were invalid. You see the issues there. Then you just mentioned about the funding aspect, that he's going out to get funds through the diaspora. But also it is stated in our constitution that money should not come in through outside Nigeria for campaigns to fund the candidates. Okay? But there is still another challenge. They are saying, or the constitution is saying that a candidate, a presidential candidate, should not spend more than 5 billion naira during campaigns. But you now wonder, how possible can that be?
I mean, we've seen it before.
5 billion naira?
They have spent
that is chicken change.
Way more than that.
Just only national convention by the APC and PDP. You saw how dollars were just moving around.
Yes.
Only that alone will consume the 5 billion. And come to think of it, even during the primaries, even during the presidential election itself in February, how will you sustain your polling units? How will you sustain without money?
Without money. So I think, yes, you want to finish?
Yes, please, sorry. So we have about 160,000 polling units in the country. If you share it against the 5 billion, which you know that most of these staff in quotes or agents will be giving money. And many a times, we're not even talking about the vote buying money. We're just talking about thanks for coming, which is part of the campaign. Now, bro, in each unit, if you share it about 30 to 35,000, my brother, in fact, 32,000 naira, if you calculate it by 32,000 naira, you find out that you will cross the 5 billion line just to give your agents money to be at the polling units.
We've not added printing or posters.
No,
adverts.
Only adverts will eat 5 billion.
Yes. It's so true. So I don't know. So does it mean that these electoral laws need some kind of review again? Because the times that we're in requires that, or has proven that these amount of money can no longer stand in. Maybe it could have been possible time past, but right now in the economy that we are in, a lot has changed. So yeah, 5 billion is it's not going to work. And then again, over time, never a time has it been that the INEC has enforced or has been able to, hold people accountable for, breaking that very law. So I don't know why they are coming up with it again. Is it because of the Obi's candidacy and the support he has gotten? Now they are going back to that law to review and say, hey, forget him. He's just making noise. He cannot get that kind of money. Besides, as a politician, he cannot spend this amount of money during an election. So all of these are things that Nigerians are keenly watching and listening. Most Nigerians have their ears on the ground now, and they are also reading up to be on the same page with the law and to know how to counter these things. So we're going to stop there and then move on with our next paper, and we'll be going to the Daily Sun newspaper. And on that paper, at the top part there, it says NNPC offers to submit to forensic audit of fuel supply, insists daily average supply remains 68 million barrels, I guess. And that you find on page 2 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And then moving on, you see here, Atiku promises women youths 40% cabinet positions. You find details of that on page 29 of the Daily Sun. Also, as the major headline here, it says, IU battles for survival as PDP crisis worsens. More governors, National Working Committee members move against party chair. His removal will cost more trouble. Warns McCarthy. All right, and then at the bottom part there, it says gunmen behead Tescom director, kill NSCDC officer, abduct 35 passengers in Ondo, Ekiti State. All right, we also see here, Alafin stool, Kingmakers shortlist 86 contestants, government holds peace parley. You find details of that on page 29 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Also here, I'll take this one, it says bloody day in Lagos, Abuja, Niger. 2 die, scores injured in Lagos building collapse. 10 die in Abuja, Niger crashes. You find details of all of those in page 4 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Right, it's the same headline here. It says, IU battles for survival as PDP crisis worsens. And it's, even though we're going to go into that, let's just take it briefly because we've hammered on this matter for quite a while now. It's a simple thing.
Yeah.
IU stepped down.
Yeah.
And his inability to listen and do the right thing at this point in time is what has really put the candidacy of Atiku Abubakar and his aspirations on serious jeopardy. And I don't know what they are doing. I don't know what the party, as it were, the NWC and the rest of them, what they are doing at this point in time. But they need to intervene quickly. We've said this times without number. They need to intervene. We don't need to tell them this. If they don't know it, I don't know what they know. But then, IU needs to respond on time. Else, if they say he's going to carry on until after the elections, they need to resolve the issues that is resulting to the calling of his resignation. They need to go back and sit down and, reconcile the party, because right now, a good number of their party members, especially here in the Southeast, South, are, disgruntled. They are heavily disgruntled. They may not be shouting as the way Governor Wike of River State has been doing, but a lot of them are disgruntled and they're really feeling this, marginalized. And once any, places they're feeling that way, then it calls for quick intervention where, they can be unified. And, the mantra of the PDP presidential candidate is unification. He wants to unify everybody. It starts from here. This is the real test. He should go ahead and try and push to unify the party, but I haven't been seeing him doing that. What's your reaction, though?
Okay, I think let's just go a little bit of history, okay? If you remember, before now, PDP has had two candidates two presidential candidates, or no, not candidates, chairmen, that really gave them big issues. First was Secondus. If you remember, before Secondus was removed, it was real tough.
Yeah, but then, that wasn't also towards an electioneering here.
Yes.
So this is a different case.
Yes.
It's a problem.
Yeah, then what about Amadou Sharif? Amadou Sharif took the party to court.
Yes.
As in, he was just, and in fact, you just see that this one is the enemy of the party. Because as soon as they succeeded in removing, he changed party immediately.
Yeah.
So what is happening now is that
He was ready to derail them.
Oh, the guy really dealt them. He gave them a running nose. Now, what about the issue that, Wike came out with a report, or the report came out that Wike had already asked. Autumn was the one that recommended IU to the party, as a presidential candidate. Come on, national chairman of the party. So, Autumn went to Wike with IU, and Wike asked him, are you sure we can trust this man? Remember, like I usually say, politics is a game of interest.
Yeah.
So right now, Wike has been up there saying, you see, what I told you is not happening. This man does not want to cooperate. But somehow, there is a bit of light at the tunnel for the Wike's camp, because right now, the BOT chairman of the party has come out to say, see, we need to look into this. For the first time, the BOT chairman has come out to say, we need to look into this. Because the BOT chairman on his own is a northerner. Are you northerner? Presidential candidate, northerner. So he came out to say, see, I'm tired of all this. Let's go to the drawing board. And I believe with what is happening, with the wave they are making, there might just be a National Executive Council meeting in just a few weeks. And let's hope by then, whether it will work for Wike or work against him. And remember, they've made the trip again, Autumn, Makinde, and Ikpazo.
So do they do these trips to go and wait in the UK or one country and say, okay, we are here. Anybody that wants to talk, come on, let's talk.
They are out there again. They are out there again. Yeah. So, well, like we say, let's hope that a positive news will come.
Yeah.
Should I call it positive? Well, it is their own business.
Well,
let's see how it comes
if
out.
they don't seem to resolve their party issues, that will end up being that the Labour Party, the presidential candidate, we know that the matter that has come up against him now is this crowdfunding issue. But the law is clear about it, and it has made even more clear to Nigerians how, you can get funding, the bypasses in all of this. But then that if you are expecting $150 million from any person living outside this country, that may not be possible. So, but then, according to one of my friends, he would say that I'm shocked that the APC and the PDP are this confused. They have never been this confused before. Tells you that the times we are in is one that God is beginning to intervene in the issues of this country, and He wants to plant a certain candidates to rescue us. Anyway, whatever that is, if you also believe that, well, maybe that is the case, maybe not too. And want to also, I so agree to what you said, before the elections, or maybe in a few weeks, because the campaigns begins towards the end of this month, and I don't know if they'll be able to combine both campaigning, because you just have about 4 months or so to campaign for the elections before it starts. 4 months is not too much of a time for you to be solving both internal rumbles and then, running around different states and consulting with, I mean, that's a lot of work. So, well, we're hoping that they, do what they need to do and on time too. All right, and the last paper we'll be taking today is the Nation's newspaper, and on the Nation's newspaper here, it says, IG to U.S. government, no threat to next year's election. You find out on page 26 of the Nation's newspaper. You also see ASU raises 7-man panel to counter smear campaign. That is on page 2 of the Nation's newspaper. And as the major headline here, it says NNPCL, petrol to sell for 462 naira per litre without subsidy. Corporation defends 68 million litre daily consumption claim. Dares Customs Controller General ready for forensic audit. And then at the bottom part there, it says PDP crisis, hope deems for reconciliation. Then you see Governor Wike's picture somewhere under that headline. If the headline is referring to whether the hopes to reconcile with Governor Wike has gone dim, well, you need to find details of that on page 4 of the Nation's newspaper. All right, Mr. Victor, the issue of petrol subsidy is up again, and this time on the Nation's newspaper. It says petrol will sell for 462 naira per litre without subsidy. So my concern for subsidy has always been that when these subsidies finally removed, this money, is it channeled back to our economy? Does it improve our lives? Is it really going to improve our lives? Because when it was removed during President Goodluck Jonathan's time, I don't know whether enough time wasn't given for it to, to be pumped into the economy, and then let's see the changes. But then it wasn't really rosy back then, even though the difference in the petrol price was not so much as compared to what we're seeing in the reports today, saying that it's going to raise up to 462 naira per litre. I mean, that is already, we're buying close to 200 naira now per litre. 10 litres of 2,000 naira petrol now is now 10 litres. That, for me, in my own calculation, that's about, for me, I calculated like 200 naira per litre already. Some Nigerians are already grumbling, but a lot more are just living through it and saying that, okay, well, it's better that we are buying and we can see this product than when we start to complain and products are not there and we're still buying hard.
Yes.
So that's why you're not hearing a lot of people shouting that, it's like we need to hit the streets and protest because we are now buying at 200 naira per liter. But I say 200 because it's about that range when,
Yeah, and in some towns, it's about 200.
Yes, yes. Aside River State, some other places they sell about that amount. So my question is, now that they are selling this high, nothing is happening to the economy. The economy is still on a nosedive. Then when these subsidies are removed and we're seeing the prices at 460 something naira, is it going to have any impact on our economy? Is this going to change? And if that is not happening, I wonder what the government will be up to. 462 naira, that's a lot of money, almost 500 naira per liter. What's your reaction to that?
Okay, I think there will be an improvement. Why am I saying this? Because if you take a look, 6 trillion naira to subsidize something that many Nigerians are not even using. You should check that if that money is being used, utilized well, that will be the question now. Do we have the government that are ready to use their policies, okay, to use this money very well so that the people can feel the impact?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do people even actually need? Is it not welfare? Is it not better healthcare, okay, education, stable economy? So if they can channel these monies to even the private sectors, channel this money, use these monies to create soft loans, because there are people out there that cannot access loans. Their business have died because of no support from any. In fact, if they even try to go to the banks, you know the banks, the way of the banks, some banks will have to trick.
They will seize your soul.
Oh my goodness,
you will submit your life before you collect.
Then if you now dare it to use these cash apps, these loan apps,
services.
Oh my goodness.
Your reputation will be smeared for life. Just be rest assured that they will send letters or text messages to your grandparents in the grave telling them that their son has collected.
So the interest rate, and the interest rate with these guys are not, they're not
friendly.
They're not friendly at all, my brother. So I think let's close up that gap, because they are subsidizing petrol, but not to every Nigerian. Some persons are using this, are siphoning these monies, okay? And if they even say, okay, they are building a plan that, see, these monies they are using to subsidize, okay, we will pump it into power, just power and energy. Alone.
It's so true.
Power and energy alone, and we'll see the difference. Right now, it will not go easy for Nigerians. But mind you, with the state of this economy, if we still keep spending about 40% of the national budget on subsidy, you find out that, see, there will not be movement. The dollar will still be going against the naira, and what will happen tomorrow? This 462 naira that we are talking might hit 800 naira, because it's still hinged on the power of dollar. Okay? Yes, they also come out to say, see, 42 naira from this 462 naira goes into distribution cost. Mind you, these petrol stations will have to make their monies.
Yeah.
The petrol tankers, the tanker owners will make their money.
So true.
Okay? So I strongly believe it is now too, will I say, it is now too late. So let's just hurry up, and I just pray
the next government.
This current government, I believe they are just waiting and waiting. Maybe just after the election, he will hit the stick, and
a lot of Nigerians don't mind, subsidy being removed. We all know the gains of subsidy being removed, but do we have trust in the government to do what they need to do with this money? Because we've seen how they gladly and freely steal, the wealth of this nation, and giving them the chance to actually remove the subsidy. Do we trust the present government? Do we trust the government enough to recycle this money into our economy to cause that change that we desire? No, Nigerians don't. That's why they say, all right, this is the only one national cake that we all benefit from, so keep it. Let's manage it. The few times that we gave you a chance to try, Goodluck's administration did not outrightly remove subsidy. They had already dished out a template on how they're going to remove it in batches. And the first batch received the highest backlash of all time.
Yeah.
Where we had Occupy Nigeria, people were on the street for weeks
Yes.
and days and days and days shouting that good luck is this. And then today, what we have seen in our economy is 10 times worse than that time.
Yes.
So you see, yes, we may have been living without subsidy and would have graduated. Now, where we are is a place where we are going to really not find it funny if it is finally removed. All right, I want to thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you,
Victor.
sir.
That's all we're going to be
Thank you,
taking
sir.
today.
Thank you,
And
sir.
to our viewers, thank you so much for staying with us on the program till now. Make sure you're following us on all our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. So find us at Staff TV and also as Staff TV_NG on both Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. I'm sure you will love the programs we have lined up on our pages there for you. So please stay connected to us. Until next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the News Super Review here on TAP TV. See you next time.